In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play the song This Is Our God by Wickham. So the original song, it's in the key of C, and the easiest way for us to get there is probably to put the capo on the 5th fret. So fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, fret 5, and then play these chords in the key of G. So for this song, we really just need 4 chords. There are a couple of passing chords, a G over B, and then even a D over F sharp in the chorus that if you're an intermediate player or maybe you've been playing for a little while, I'm going to show you how to play those chords in the chorus. But if you're a beginner, we can just do this song with 4 chords. So the chords that we need for this song, we need the G chord, we need the C chord, we need the D chord, and then we need the E minor chord. So then the 2 other chords for the chorus, I believe, that we can add in if we want. We have the G over B chord here. And then we have the D over F sharp, which you can play that way or that way, kind of grabbing that bass note there with your thumb. So for this song, so it's in the key of C. Phil Wickham's got a high voice. I don't have a high voice, so for this lesson, I'm going to take the capo down to the 2nd fret. And that's kind of the nice thing about playing chords in the key of G with the capo. You can move it around a little bit if you have a different vocal range and if you don't have a high voice like a lot of these, Christian worship leaders that we listen to. I usually find myself sliding the capo down a couple. It's just easier for my vocals and my very modest range. So just remember, if you do want to play along with the recording, if you have it on YouTube or Spotify, just make sure you put the capo up here on the 5th fret. Alright, so for this song, it's in 4/4 timing, which you don't need to really know what that means. When I count the down strums, I'm going to be counting to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can strum this song. So we'll definitely get into that. I did a lesson a while back, I think, on Phil Wickham, how he plays, how to play guitar like him. He's really good with dynamics, really good with kind of using the whole guitar and making it sound really, really full if you have an acoustic guitar. And you're an acoustic guitar player, so definitely check that video out. I'll link it up here and I'll put it in the description. I have the chord charts for this song, This Is Our God, on my Patreon page. So if you need to download them, print them off, write some notes, up arrows, down arrows for strumming, you can definitely do that. And then I think I also have 5 or 6 songs of his chord charts on my website. So you can also head there. I'll link that in the description down below if you want some more resources and you want some more chord charts to play Phil Wickham songs. So getting into this song, the intro, we're just going to play the G chord. We're just going to let the electric guitar player kind of do that main do 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 do, whatever the electric is playing there. So you're just going to hang on to that G chord. The first verse, I'm going to sing through it and then I'm going to break it down. So, remember those walls that we called sin and shame. They were like prisons that we couldn't escape. But he came and he died and he rose. Those walls are rubble now. Do 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 do. Electric guitar there. So I'll have the lyrics in the chord charts or in the chords up in the screen here. So as far as down strumming, let's start off with a simple down strum pattern. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, verse 2. Remember those giants. So just, you may need to go back and rewind this and just count the down strums. It's going to be 16 on the G, 16 on the E minor, 8 down strums on the D, 8 down strums on the C, and then back to 16 on that G. Something you can do if you're a basic guitar player and you like having that simple down strum rhythm, just add a little down, down, up, or just a simple down, up after the 16th strum or the 8th strum, depending on which chord you're on, and it'll give it a little bit more of a rhythmic feel. So it would sound like this. Remember those walls that we called sin and shame. Just that little flick of the wrist, that little up strum on that last chord. They were like prisons that we couldn't escape, but he came and he died and he rose. Those walls are rubble now. So you can do that for the entire song if you're a beginner. If you're a little bit more rhythmic and you have a little bit more flowy of a strum pattern, you could do down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. And you can do that for each chord. And then similarly to the extra down, up on the down strums, you can add that to the end of this strum pattern. So that would be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. So I'll play through that first verse with that strum pattern. Remember those walls that we call sin and shame. They were like prisons that we couldn't escape, but he came and he died and he rose. Those walls are rebel now. Remember those giants we call death and grave. They were like mountains that stood in our way, but he came and he died and he rose. Those giants are dead now. This is our God. So then that goes right into the chorus. So that gives you a breakdown on verse 1, verse 2. Verse 3 is the same, verse 4 is the same. There's no chord changes, there's no strumming changes. So I'm not going to go through the verses anymore. So that'll go right into the chorus. And the chorus chords change a little bit. It goes, this is our God, this is who he is, he loves us. This is our God, this is what he does, he saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave, let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. Kind of that back to that interlude, that G chord interlude. So this is where we can do this chorus two different ways. We can add the G over B in and then another D chord, or we can just keep it super simple. I'm gonna keep it super simple initially. So this would be the simple version. This is just the down strums. This is our God, this is who he is, he loves us. This is our God, this is what he does, he saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave, let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. So that's the simple version, down strum wise. This is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, So that would be the simple version. If we wanted to add in just an additional passing chord, it would sound like this. So, this is our God, this is who He is, He loves us. This is our God, this is what He does, He saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave, let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. So that's where you can add in that passing chord if you want to. It makes it a little bit more complicated, but if you're an intermediate player and you feel comfortable making that quick chord change, you can definitely go for it. And then for this chorus, if we wanted to do that strum pattern that I showed you in the first verse, that would sound something like this. This is our God, this is who He is, He loves us. This is our God, this is what He does, He saves us. He bore the cross, beat the grave, let heaven and earth proclaim. This is our God, King Jesus. Remember that fear that took our breath away. So then that'll go into verse 3. Again, I'm not going to go into verse 3 and verse 4, but you may want to check out, I just did a lesson the last couple weeks on adding dynamics, 5 ways to add dynamics. And you can really, like with Phil Wickham songs, he adds a lot of dynamics when he plays them. So if you check out that video, you can probably get some tips of like going into this second verse or the third verse, maybe just kind of doing those down strums, focusing on the bass notes, and then kind of building it up. Now those altars in the wilderness, verse 4, and just kind of give it a little bit more flow. So that'll go back into verse 3, verse 4, then it goes right into another chorus. There's no change on the chorus, same chords, same strum pattern. And then that last chorus will go right into the bridge, and the bridge will sound like this. And I'm gonna note it as bridge 1 and bridge 2. That way there's not this massive like 8 lines of bridges. So this would be bridge 1. Who pulled me out of that pit? He did, He did. Who paid for all of our sins? Nobody but Jesus. Who pulled me out of that pit? He did, He did. Who paid for all of our sins? Nobody but Jesus. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. Who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but Jesus. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. Glory and praise. Nobody but Him. This is our God. So then that'll go right back into the chorus. So kind of flew through that bridge a little bit. Let me go back to the bridge 1 and just the quick change out of this, getting out of the C and going to the G. So who pulled me out of that pit? He did. He did. Who paid for all of our sins? Nobody but Jesus. Who pulled me out of that pit? He did. He did. Who paid for all of our sins? Nobody but Jesus. So I'm really kind of slowing it down and emphasizing when you switch to that passing chord. And then for that D, you can also do a D over F sharp. That works too. So I'll kind of do that D over F sharp instead of the D on bridge 2. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. Who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but Jesus. Who rescued me from that grave? Yahweh, Yahweh. Who Who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but Him. This is who He is. He loves us. So you may need to just double check on the singing and the lyrics on that last line, kind of getting out of the bridge there and kind of going back into the chorus. I'm not 100% sure on it, but it just goes from that. Who gets the glory and praise? Nobody but Him. This is our God. I think that sounded a little bit more familiar, a little bit better. So, and then that just goes back to another chorus. And then the outro is just going to be. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of ending on that G chord. So hopefully that helps you out. Again, the chord charts that are on my Patreon page if you need help with the chords. It's a little bit longer of a song, so if you need to download them, print them off, they'll be on the Patreon page. Yeah, so hopefully this helps you guys out. Great song. Leave a comment if you have questions on anything. But if not, I'll see y'all in the next one. Love y'all. Catch you soon.